Good evening, YouTube. Short little video here, kind of a rant. What is wrong with these freaking truck stops these days? You know, we got forced back in 2010, 2011 to dump essentially, urine in a tank and run it through our exhaust system in the names of a healthier, cleaner environment. And in that, that added a whole nother expense to our operating, and that's enough on its own, right? Do we use a lot of DEF? Kind of depends on the truck. It depends on the loads you're hauling, the horsepower, performance, how you drive, the health, all that stuff. I get that. However, it's an added expense. And, seeing DEF prices now, I've seen it as high as over almost like $4.39 a gallon. I try to buy, certain areas so that I'm not getting just completely hosed every time I turn around. But my biggest complaint right now is I've been running up north here. I was in Wisconsin last night. And I get it, there's a, quote, Arctic blast coming through, and oh my gosh, everybody, we're doomed. The country's going to come to a crashing halt, and people are going to die. And, we've been dealing with super cold weather for thousands of years now. I don't understand what the issue is in society these days. This is a whole nother little side rant here, and I'm sorry, but what is wrong with society that we can't figure out in freaking 2024 how to stay warm in the wintertime, how to keep our refrigerators full of food, how to keep our cupboards full of food. Stop buying TVs and freaking $150 tennis shoes and $1,500 telephones if you don't have any food in your cabinets. Make sure you have food first. Then if you have money left over after you pay all your bills and have food, then buy that stuff. Get your priorities straight. So there's my rant, young people. Take care of your finances. And, it's funny, you'll have the money you need to get the stuff you need to survive when weather has these extreme shifts. Okay, sorry. I had to get that off my chest, man. I was just dying. The freaking head was going to explode. But these truck stops up north, DEF freezes, right around 28 to 24 degrees, it starts to freeze. Definitely at zero, DEF will freeze rock solid, just like water, because it's mostly water. I think it's like 99% water. I don't know what the percentage is. Somebody can throw it down there in the comments. I know somebody's going to go, well, it's 72% this and 13 of that and 4 of this, and I already know it's coming. So anyway, it's all good, man. Put it down there. Put your homebrew DEF formula in the comments. But, running up north here, I don't understand, like in Wisconsin. I was in Racine, Wisconsin last night at the Petro and getting fuel, and I needed to get DEF, man. I'm down just a hair over a quarter of a tank. I got DEF down south, and I was on my way up here towards the Chicago area. Actually, I was on my way to Dubuque, and I thought I'll get DEF in Iowa, and I ended up not getting DEF. I don't know what I was thinking, man. I just didn't get it. And so last night I'm trying to get DEF, and Wisconsin, mind you, you're like 17 feet from the freaking 49th parallel, close to Canada. You're in the snow belt. It gets colder than a well digger's butt here in January and February. Why don't you have your DEF tanks and DEF pumps heated and insulated so that the DEF can flow when it's cold? Now, when these super cold temps hit somewhere like Texas or Louisiana, I get it. I understand DEF pumps are going to be frozen. They're not expecting that. You're Wisconsin, for goodness sake. It gets cold here every single winter. What the heck, Petro, TA, Loves, Flying J, Pilot, 19, whoever, you name it, whatever. And I'm kind of spoiled being from Montana, because all the truck stops in Montana now, especially anything built in the last 10 years or remodeled in the last 10 years, most all the town pumps, the Flying J's, which there's only, I think, 2 corporate Flying J's in the entire state. But, you know, because Town Pump is like, it's kind of like the Tim Hortons in Canada. Town Pump is the Tim Hortons of Montana. Every station is a Town Pump. But to their credit, every station they've just built and remodeled, their DEF tanks are heated. All the lines are heated. They're run through conduit. They're run through like a ductwork that's insulated and heated, so that when you get your and the pumps, they're in a metal insulated cabinet. So when you pull the nozzle out and you start filling your DEF, it's flowing. It's not frozen. North Dakota, there's a lot of them the same way. South Dakota, I see. Wyoming, North Idaho, Eastern Washington, where it gets cold, all along that northern tier, except for Minnesota and Wisconsin and Illinois. And, you know, states where it gets cold, Indiana, there is no excuse. Kentucky, it gets cold during the wintertime. I've seen it below 20 several times over the last 30-some years. You know, you guys aren't like they are in Louisiana, where you run your water pipes on the outside of your building because it never gets below freezing, and then all your pipes burst the first time it does. You get cold weather, at least for a month out of the year. So all this is just to say that all you truck stops need to get your crap together, man. You know, I'm so tired of this. It's just absolutely ridiculous. It's asinine, really. You know, they won't keep the trash cans cleaned out on the islands. You know, but the main thing, and drivers, come here, come close. All that diesel fuel is supposed to go in the tanks, not on the ground around the pumps. Tech tip, expert tip, whatever you want to call it. When you're getting fuel, put the nozzle in the tank. Lift the handle. Squeeze the handle on the nozzle. When it's done, shut the lever off on the pump. Squeeze the handle and shake the last little bit of fuel out of the nozzle, like when you're standing in front of the urinal, so it doesn't drip all over the ground. And don't just grab it and just sling it back up to the pump and have fuel just throwing everywhere. I see it all the time. Take some pride in what you do. And same with the DEF pumps. Stop being like that. You know, you guys, I see it just every day. It's all over the ground. I guess maybe I understand why some truck stops don't take care of their fuel islands, because the drivers that come in have no interest in taking care of it. And maybe it's because of the other, I don't know, it doesn't matter. But this is just another rant, you know, an old guy trying to give some advice. And I know some of you guys are going to say, well, what difference does it make? You know, I don't like stepping in fuel and dragging it in my truck. I don't like getting in my truck and having fuel all over the bottom of my shoes, and then my truck smells like diesel. I love the smell of diesel fuel in the morning. It makes me think of victory. See what I did there? But it just smells like victory. I don't want it in my truck. Okay? I don't want my truck to smell like a refinery. I want my truck to smell clean inside. And it's not going to smell clean if it smells like diesel. But anyway, truck stops, clean up your fuel islands, insulate your DEF pumps so that we can get DEF in the wintertime. Keep stuff in stock. You know it's wintertime. You know people are going to buy it like crazy. Keep the power service, the FPPF, the Lucas fuel treatment, the winter treatment that they have. Keep that stuff in stock. Stock up on it, because it's going to go like crazy. Don't just have 5 bottles on the shelves and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, I'm sorry, we don't have any and our fuel's not treated. Sorry, bruh. You're going to die. You know, do your jobs, people. Managers of truck stops, if there's anybody watching this video, do your job. You're the manager. You know what you need. You know what sells. You've seen it. If you've been in this for more than 1 full year, you know the demands on certain things at certain times of the year. Keep that stuff in stock. I don't need to buy freaking, you know, stuffed animals and stupid floppy hats and things like that. Truck stops, you know, it's okay a little bit for some of that stuff, but let's put the stuff that matters in there. you know, basic tools, butt connectors, wire, electrical tape, zip ties, you know, whatever. I don't care about all the other crap. I get it, you know, it's neat to have a one-stop shop, but most of us are going to buy that stuff at home anyway. We're not spending the extra 70, 80% on the price on it out here on the road unless we absolutely have to. So, sorry, I'm getting just kind of all over the place there, but, you know, I just really can't understand the whole DEF situation, you know, especially, you know, we're rolling up into this now on what, 13 years that we've had this crap in the ground, and at this point you still haven't figured out that in the wintertime this junk freezes, and that's why the tanks on the trucks are heated. That's why the lines that run from the DEF pump to the doser and back, the high, you know, through the doser and the DPF and or the catalytic side, whatever you want to call it. Why do you think all that's heated? It's because it freezes in the wintertime. So, truck stops, do your job. Drivers, stop making a mess. And truck stops, stop stocking junk we don't need. Hey, guys, I'm sorry. I just, you know, it's just kind of funny to me, and I'm trying to have a little sense of humor with some of this. But in all seriousness, please don't make a mess on the fuel island. It gets so old. Just don't do it. And make sure you pull the nozzle out of the tank and put it back on the pump before you leave. Watched a guy just the other day do that, and it was kind of funny because he was not from this country originally, and whoever was with him was speaking their native language, and all I could do is stand there and laugh because he was just livid that this driver that he was training or whatever drove off and jerked that nozzle off. But he did not go inside and tell the people inside that he did it. He just pulled the nozzle out of the tank, walked back over and stuck it in the pump and left. It's like, what the frick, man? So, hang your nozzles up. Hang your nozzles up, guys. Seriously. This is going badly. Guys, I love you, man. Be safe out there. Keep the shiny side up, the greasy side down, and we'll catch you on the flip side, drivers. I'm gonna stop now before this gets really bad. Take care. See ya.